Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome back to What's on Tap podcast. I am, as always, Stefan, and once again, we are joined by Adrian.
Yes, thank you very much. Nice to be here again.
Yeah, glad to have you back as always. You're becoming a regular on the show. I think you've maybe the most on this show. You actually are the most on this show outside of Mathias and I.
Yeah. I'm flattered. I get all these great beers and I get to talk about them.
I know.
It's good.
Well, I'm excited about today because you went down to Systembolaget and you picked up something from their latest release.
I picked up most of the things from the latest release, but then you picked this one.
I did, because I was very excited about this one.
I am too. Yeah.
Only because it's a style I've never had before. I am a fan of the two breweries that collaborated together to put it out. So I thought, hey, let's definitely get a try on this one.
It's a good choice.
Yes, and it's a lighter beer. It only comes in at 4.4%.
Yeah.
So it's almost a non-alcoholic beer at this point. But yeah, so we have two beers tonight, as always. We have the something from Brekeriet, Swedish brewery, and something from a Chicago brewery called Pipeworks Brewing Company. Their Ninja versus Unicorn, which is a double India Pale Ale, and it makes regular appearances in Sweden, or in, I shouldn't say Sweden, but in Copenhagen, on a very regular basis. So this is actually just came out, the first release of this year from them. So it's pretty fresh.
It's a beautiful can.
I love Pipeworks cans.
Yeah.
Pipeworks cans are always very enjoyable to look at.
Yeah.
The beers vary from time to time, but I always love the cans and the packaging.
Then, I would say that their IPAs are pretty much always all right.
Yeah. I had their, what do we do? Chanter and I reviewed the Sweetheart Waffle Mountain or something like that, which was a stout that they put out, and it was okay. It was lacking on, like, I was expecting it to be a pretty sweet stout, but it was not.
Yeah, all right. Now, I would definitely look for IPAs when it comes to Pipeworks, and actually double IPAs. And of course, Ninja versus Unicorn is one of those labels they were happy to get first before someone else, because it's obviously a great name for beer.
Yeah.
And the label really reflects that, the Ninja cutting the unicorn in the head, something like that.
I love the way Swedes say ninja. Because it's ninja, because the J is ninja, because the J's are soft in the Swedish language, so it's always ninja.
Yeah.
Did you see the ninjas? I was like, the what? The ninjas. All right, because in English the J is a much harder sound. So.
Yeah, I get it now when you say it. Yeah.
All right. But first, we're going to try the Bridgman Camper from Brekeriet and Transient Artisan Ales.
Yes, Transient. Aren't those the one that, like, they made some amazing appearances at Brewskiball the first year and also this year? Is that Transient, or am I confused?
I'm pretty sure it's Transient.
It is, because they're quite a small brewery, but they become very famous in this area because of the Brewskiball.
It's funny, like 18th Street, which is around Scandinavia, quite easy to come by.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you were to go back to the States, outside of like the general area where they brew, no one even knows where they are. I mean, they don't. I think they're just like in this like small Wisconsin town, and like no one knows where they are. But we get, I would say, 4 or 5 different 18th Street beers a year, because they do a lot of stuff through Brekeriet. Yeah, and it's been really, really good stuff.
They also work a lot with Brewski, I think. Yeah. But Transient is the first Brewskiball. When people came up to me after the first day and the second day, like, what should I try? I pointed them towards Transient right after the Hylio, of course. But it's they're very nice guys, and they were surprised by the popularity, as I understand it. And Didn't Mathias get an offer to actually go to Chicago, was it, to make a beer with him?
I have no idea. That's very possible. I know he had a few offers.
Oh, we have to say something in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so what we're trying is what's called a lichtenhainer, which is a German-style beer made in a small region inside Germany. Yeah. I think we've been pronouncing it Lichtensteiner.
Yeah.
But it's actually Lichtenhainer, Hainer.
This explains why I couldn't Google it.
That's probably why. You're spelling it completely wrong. No, I had to really look at the bottle to see how to spell it.
Yeah.
And this is a kind of a Goza sour style beer, but it's made with smoked wheat malt.
Yeah.
So it should have a bit of a sour flavor, but kind of a smokiness at the same time.
Yeah. But still, it's light. Yeah, I was expecting something brown.
No, it looks like a Goza. I mean, it is straight up Goza-esque in its color.
Yellow whitish.
And the smell smells very Goza-ish. It's kind of lightly sour, I want to say a little bit of a sea salty kind of smell to it.
Yeah, it's a very strange aroma though. It's like you get the sour, but there is some smoke to it. I
don't get a lot of smoke off it. Maybe after I taste it, then I'll kind of that smokiness will fall into place. But
no, I'm thinking smoky, and there is yeast as well.
Yeah, there's a yeastiness to it. But I will say it's got a great smell. I'm very curious about this beer.
Yeah, I would say when I poured the bottle, I was really not excited, but it kind of it calmed down now.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a beer that you're either going to love or hate. I don't know there's going to be any middle ground on this one.
All right.
Yeah. So there's almost zero carbonation on the top. I mean, you poured it and there's like not a lot of bubbles coming through, and it's got no head retention at all.
No, it looks
much like
you
would expect from a Goza.
Yeah, it looks like a breakfast juice pretty much.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is a smoked Goza. Pretty much.
You think so?
Yeah.
I really like this. I can tell by the look on your face that you do not like this.
No, I'm very
think
confused.
It's got a great sourness to it.
Mm-hmm.
The smokiness is there, but I don't find it to be like an overwhelming bacony, smoky kind of flavor.
Yeah. No, well, it's not overwhelming, but it's definitely bacony. I find it very strange with bacon in my, blonde sour. Now it's confusing. It's not straight up dangerous or ill in any way, but it's extremely weird.
Yeah, it's a very unusual style, I will say that. I think the smoked malt part gives it a bit of a complexity that you wouldn't expect from this kind of beer. And the shelf life on this thing is crazy long. It is good. It says the shelf life is until 2022.
Yeah.
That, for me, seems like a really, really long shelf life.
Yeah. Yeah. Apart from lambics and stouts, that's a lot. But
I love the carbonation in the mouth.
There's a lot of carbonation.
Yeah, there's a lot of carbonation in the mouth. And it's got this like traditional Goza, salty, little clean, fresh.
Yeah.
Slightly tart.
I'm skeptic, but I'm also intrigued. I'd say I never had anything like this.
I can 100% agree with you on that. I have never had anything like this before in my life.
No, and still, it feels classy. It's not like the cheese is taking over. It's not too smoky. There is a lot of fruit and citrus in it, which I do like. And it seems like I'm getting used to it in every sip. It's like it took me a long time to get acquainted with gooses. To be honest, I could not stand that stuff, and I still can't stand it when it's too salty.
Yeah,
but the smoke on top of that, because I would really, really, really describe this as a, very citrus sour with goose and smoke on top of it. That's it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of a yeast sediment in the bottom there. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like it can age out pretty well.
Yeah.
But this is It's a pretty exciting style. I could see where this could be a horrible beer style if you don't want. I mean, it could easily go too smoked. You know, I think this has just enough of a light smoke to it that it keeps it interesting and something that you don't mind drinking. But if it was just a little bit more smoked, it would be like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah. I think the smoke is what bothers me, and the rest is really amazing.
For me, I get the smoke in the aftertaste mostly.
Yes, but it's also I'm getting used to it for every sip. The first sip was very smoky, and now it's only in the aftertaste. Yeah. But it's there, definitely there. It's funny how we still find new styles that we're not familiar with.
Yeah, I know. It's just like this thing that you've tried everything. Someone comes along, have you tried this smoked malt gozy yet? I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. What do you think about lichtenhainers? Okay, from now on I'll have an idea, but I'm still kind of weak in the area. No, but this is I'm not scared. This is interesting, very interesting, and it's semi-fresh, sort of.
No, I could definitely. I mean, if it was the middle of, it's a shame they're releasing this now. This really feels like a summer beer, like something you'd want on a hot day.
I don't know. No,
to me, it's really light and
it is light,
drinkable.
But there is smoke. There is some strange smoke in my beer.
Yeah, there is. Well, I mean, it is the style.
Yeah. No, it's an extremely nice gose, but someone put smoke in it. That's it. Yeah. Am I gonna rate it?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah. I'm still gonna give this a very unstable 3.5.
All right.
It is good, but I'm not sure if this will last, or if it's just I have to drink a few more within this style to really know what I'm talking about. But it's fresh.
Yeah.
So
I would say as a first beer of this style that I've had, I like it, and I'd be willing to try other versions of this just to see what's the range and what more could you expect to it. It kind of reminds me a bit of like a shandy, like we had from Tulln.
Yeah.
Or like a Rattler or something, but I am going to also give it a 3.5. I would be curious to try other beers in this style just to see how it fluctuates in the smokiness, because I think that's going to be the defining character. Is does it get more smoky or does it get less smoky depending on how it's pushed? But I would say this is the first time to try it. I am very pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I'm with you. I had a lot of misgivings because I'm not a huge smoked beer fan by far. I know Mathias loves a good smoked beer, but I am usually one that can, I'll pick something else first, but if someone offers it to me, I'll try it,
Yeah. No, I'm on you with that one. There is good smoked beers, but they're rare.
No.
No, but there's two amazing breweries, and I'm thinking this is probably not very much in style, if I'd guess. I mean,
you don't think so?
I would think that this one got more fruit in it than because of Brekeriet.
Possibly.
I'm thinking like this is a German style. Mm-hmm. I rarely have German beer with this much fresh, fruity flavors.
True.
So I would think it will go a lot more malty and Pilsner-like if it was true to the style. But once again, it's the first shot. So far, this is the style for me.
Yeah. This is kind of the one that you would compare other versions of it to.
Yeah.
And I think they were really smart to put this out in the the 33 centiliter bottles.
Yes, I love that.
I think that if this was a big bottle, you'd be like, that's too much.
Do you know that Brekeriet is planning to release their big bottles instead of the Cantillon style with a cork and a capsule in 37 centiliters? That'll make a huge difference. Yeah. You saw my shelf down in the cellar. I got Brekeriet everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's because the bottles are too big. So I would really, really enjoy smaller bottles of all of the beers.
When we have a bottle, sure, you can bring a couple and we can share it around.
I will. I'm pretty sure we will have a Brekeriet night where we'll only drink Brekeriet. We had it before, but I could pretty much host one myself by now, like 10 people or something like that.
Yeah, you've got a ton of them. And where do you usually find the big bottles?
Well, whenever I see a Brekeriet, I buy it. I don't. It doesn't matter where, but usually it's. Systembolaget is still my main supplier.
Oh, really?
But then friends ask me all the time, like, I'm going to do some box beers. I'm going to go to kiosk or whatever. And they know that if there's a Brekeriet, I will have it. So I get offers all the time.
Yeah.
So
I see the big bottles online more often than I see them in Systembolaget.
Yeah, that's true. I buy a lot through friends online. I would say half of them at least. They usually show up on tap at Beer Ditch or Tap Room, but Systembolaget only picks up a few.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm really sad that I didn't get more of their. What was the one they had out last year with Jester King?
Was it fruit salad?
Was that fruit salad?
Oh no, fruit salad is very good though.
I can't remember what it was. We reviewed it on the show, and it was so freaking good. We were just sad that we didn't pick up more of it when it came out. It sold out so fast.
Yeah.
And it was a great beer.
They had, I think the best Brekeriet collaboration I had is the Scandic one.
Yeah.
It's so super fresh and sour and everything. It's still very Brekeriet, but it's also hoppy and fruity, and it's more of everything. It's the best beer, perhaps, but they've done so much good stuff. Brekeriet is
they're one of my favorite Swedish breweries. I think they do really, really great sours.
They do, and they also experiment. I'm not a big fan of the ones that's not sour, although they're.
Yeah, I'm kind of there as well. I go for their sour stuff and.
Sour stuff and their bread stuff. The bread stuff.
Oh, the bread stuff is really good.
Yeah. That's good. I use their. It's very hard to find a Brett IPA, but you can pick this off the shelf anytime. Yeah. So the Uncle Brett is where I go. I would prefer the Swedish Chef. Yeah, but it's not
Swedish
available.
The Swedish Chef was the Jester King one.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I love that one. That was a Brett IPA.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was one that we're kind of like really sad that we didn't buy more of.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people hated that one and think Uncle Brett is better, but in my eyes, Swedish Chef was so super good. And it serves a purpose to have a Brett IPA, to serve between the sours and the stouts or whatever. Like instead of a saison, it's an in-between beer. But I'm a sucker for Brett IPAs, favorite style. Yep.
Okay, and so next up is the Ninja versus Unicorn, or Ninja versus Unicorn double IPA. There's no other interesting information on the can other than it's 8% by volume. Okay, well.
Yep.
So, this looks like a classic West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
Kind of dank looking. Smells very, very traditional IPA-ish.
A lot of miniature bubbles working their way up, creamy face.
Yeah, it still has a little bit of a head on it, and we poured it at the beginning of the show. So that's really a good thing to see.
Yep.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, this is classic.
Yeah.
No.
This is very standard, traditional double IPA. Almost a little into the caramel area, but not too much.
Yeah, no, I hate caramel, and there's no caramel to bother me in this one. It's creamy, it's fresh, it's lean, a lot of flavor. It's real beautiful. I'm a bit excited because it was a few years I had it before the New England hype.
You said it was like 4 years ago you had it last?
Something like that, yeah. And no, 3 years, I think.
3 years?
And I loved it a lot. My friends loved it even more. I know we went to Brekeriet when they opened up. So whenever that was, I think it was.
It's about 3 years ago. I think they're having their birthday coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. So the only thing they had that day, for some reason, they had some lager festival, and we were quite unexcited.
Your worst festival ever.
Yeah, and we were there the day after, but they did have a fridge filled with unicorn, and Brekeriet, they got this list in the back anyway that would kill anything else. It's probably the best. It is the best pub I know of, without doubt.
Their bottle list that I just saw like last week.
Yeah.
Unfreaking believable. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like if you wanna impress a friend with a beer that you talked about 5 years and you never had the chance to pull up. Like, for instance, the Fred's Blend from Prairie.
Yeah.
I talked about it several times. My friends never had it. We went there. Of course, it was on their list.
Yeah.
As well as the Cantillon Blueberry the last 10 years.
Their Cantillon list is out of this world.
Yeah.
It's probably the best list of Cantillon outside of going
and
outside of Belgium.
And even cooler is that they're not overpriced.
No, they aren't. They're actually quite affordable.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them under 200 Danish, which is like $20.
Yeah. And so, a unicorn, I think a unicorn will go like, 50 Danish, something like that.
Yeah.
I had the Prairie barrel aged. That's the only place I ever had the Prairie barrel aged bomb. Mm-hmm. And they sold it by small glasses for like 50 Danish. And amazing. Mm-hmm. But I love the place. Anyway, my friends kept drinking this. I forced a Fred's Blend upon them, and then they bought 6 more of this, and then we left. Crazy. So this was pretty much the best you could ever get at the time. And I'm very happy now that I still like it a lot. It's smooth, it's lean, it's fresh, it's typical West Coast IPA, and it's at its best.
Yeah, I think that there's this bitterness on the back of the tongue, but there's a little sweetness on the lips, like when you taste it in the aftertaste. I love the carbonation on this. Just a real strong traditional style, and I mean everything is so fruit forward and so kind of crazy when it comes to IPAs these days. For me, it's just kind of nice every once in a while to like, oh yeah, this is what a traditional IPA tastes like. Yeah,
I agree. And I think for me, the what do you call it? Like the thickness, the structure of it.
Yeah.
This is very creamy for West Coast IPA, and I like them like that. It's got
a lot of body.
It's got a lot of body, but most of all, it's lean and smooth, and of course there is the bitterness, but there is the you just want to drink more.
You do, yeah. You just want to keep drinking this.
Mm-hmm. Great beer.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of other Pipeworks stuff, or?
I had actually, because Bearditch usually take them in. So I think it was like 1 year ago they had several
like the Red Snapper shows up quite often, and
but they
guppy
had,
and
they had the top of the line, all these fishes, and they pulled them off pretty well. They were very strong IPAs. I think they were like close to 10%, even above sometimes. So they were a problem because they're quite easy to drink.
We see Blood of the Unicorn quite often as well, which is a red ale. Red IPA.
No, I haven't had that.
Yeah, no. I've seen that one a few times around.
Yeah. No, but they're fish styles, and this one, they're all great.
Yeah, and again, this one I got from boxbeers.com. I saw it. I was just like, I haven't had that in a while. I need to have it again. Yeah, and it's a great one to have on the show because it's such a fun beer to talk about.
Yeah, it's funny how it's becoming a classic. This is
a beer. It kind of is, yeah.
You never forget that name.
Ninja versus Unicorn?
Yeah, or the label, actually. It's a beautiful can. It's this is how I got to know Pipeworks, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It was through this. And then, I've enjoyed their beers ever since.
Yeah. Oh, this is good stuff.
All right, so I'll go first on this one. I am going to give this, I think, a 4.25.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give it a 4. I'm still New England free.
I know. But what I appreciate it is the fact that it isn't overly fruity, and it is kind of just a traditional double IPA. And I think it may have been the double IPA that turned me on to double IPAs, because before I'd always had them and they were just like these super caramelly, like bombs. And I was
malty.
I was like, why do people like this style? It's just like sweet and gross and.
Oh, I agree.
And for years, like first 2 years, I was just like, I do not get people's love of double IPAs. And then, then I tried this and a couple other ones, and I was just like, wow, okay, now I get why.
Yeah. It's funny though, like, what is a double IPA? I mean, by measurements, it would be to double the pale ale, double the IPA, of course. I mean, you have
it's alcohol by volume, so it's anything over like 7.5%, I think.
No, but it's different schools.
It's a alcohol by volume count. So IPAs are like 4.5 to 7.5 or something like that, and then 7.5 to 10 or 11 is a double, and anything above that is a triple or imperial or galactic or whatever they want to.
Actually, I know that whatever it says on the can is what it is.
Yeah.
Because there is no real rules. But even though what you're saying, I mean, like in traditional ways of, if you have an IPA, you make a double IPA. What do you do to it? And is it really double the ABV? Obviously, it's not. But is it hiring the double ABV? As I understood it from the start, was that you would double all the ingredients.
But I mean, that wouldn't. But I mean, you could never have a double IPA that's a 5% alcohol by volume.
Well, if you have a really shitty IPA.
Well, but that's just an IPA. But it's not. It's literally. I think it's literally based on the alcohol by volume percentage.
All right. We have to look that up.
If Mathias is here, he could set us straight on this.
Yeah. No. But it's But obviously, like this one, on today's standards with double IPAs and Pipeworks standards by double IPAs, this one is kind of soft, but it's very good. But I agree, like the first double IPAs tend to be at least a lot of caramel and a lot of malt. And this one is very fresh and easy to drink.
Oh, very, very fresh and very, very easy to drink.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com. Find us on Spotify and Instagram. This is where Mathias comes in, because I always forget everything. YouTube, iTunes. Those are the main places you can find us. Facebook, of course. Just let us know if you've had either one of these beers, what you thought of them, because we'd love to get some feedback on other people that have had a Lichtenhainer style beer. And if you've had the Ninja versus Unicorn, just let us know what you think of that. That'd be great. So until next time, keep drinking.